Alright, so hadn't done a video in a long time and I've been wanting to do other things with real videos. So this is a vlog, podcast, vlogcast, whatever you want to call it, but it's a little more casual than all those things. So somewhere between a video podcast.
Yeah, just bullshit in front of the video camera.
I'm Brian. I'm the original creator of Devious Ambitions channel. This here is Chris.
Hello.
We're roommates now. We are into video games. This is probably most things we're going to talk about. Video games, nerdy stuff, that stuff.
I guess not that this is exactly a nerd blog, just that we are nerds and we're blogging, so that's going to be what we talk about.
Just kind of happens.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and segue right into something, and because this week was E3, why not talk about the Xbox One, at least for a little bit?
Yeah, so the Xbox One. Microsoft seems to be under the misapprehension that people are made of monies. That they're willing to throw down, what was it, 600? 500 for the system, not to mention have an internet connection on at all times. That's required, obviously.
And owning Xbox Live Gold, I don't know if you have to actually own it to have the system, period, or if it's just for only playing online games, which is redundant for always having to be connected online anyways.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious they're just trying to get more money. Not to mention, of course, the big thing, you have to download the games, and if it's a rental or if it's a borrowed game, that apparently they threw this on the publishers instead of saying, universally, but basically there's a very good chance that you'll have to pay basically a licensing fee to download the game onto your system.
Now, we could go on about this forever, but I mean, everyone else has the same opinion just about. Not everyone, I know, I'm not generalizing that much, but a very large portion of gamers are not happy with the system that Xbox One is showing for obvious reasons. A console is not a PC. I should be able to own my disc, cartridge, whatever you want to call it, because whatever system is going to end up being. And then ultimately what's going to happen to the system when a generation and a half from now, and they have to shut down the servers.
It's just going to be a brick.
Yeah.
That's all. And I think that they're working way too hard to make it a multimedia experience. It's not about gaming anymore, which I guess is fine if that's what they're trying to do, but I think they'd be better off introducing some new peripheral, some new product that does what they want it to, that isn't a gaming console. I mean, now it's basically turned into a cable box you can play games on.
So, yes, next generation's not looking great. Personally, I think I'm going to get a PS4. I already own a Wii U. I do not believe, even if Xbox One changes its policies, that I'm going to translate into them.
Yeah.
Because at this point they've lost me, and I'm not going to pick them up because of that.
Yep. So what do you think of the interconnectivity? They showed a lot of stuff on E3 where you use your tablet or your smartphone to, I guess, enhance your gameplay experience. Someone who's using tablet or smartphone can. It
sounds silly novelty that I wouldn't use. First of all, I don't own a tablet. I have a smartphone. Yeah. It sounds like a thing to get someone that doesn't play games to play with you. It's a novelty that doesn't necessarily need to be added into them. I mean, people are going to use it, sure. I'm not the target audience, plain and simple.
Well, but they said the same thing about the Wii U's giant tap screen thing.
But it's part of the system. It's like literally, that's candy that publishers are adding to it themselves. People that really like gadgets will probably like it. Like if you could use your tablet to control your Xbox, to control your media instead of having to plug in a controller and you already have it anyway, sure, maybe convenient, but I really don't care.
Yeah. See, I don't know, that just seems like another chunk of hardware they're trying to get you to spring for, which, I was actually kind of thinking about this. It's a shame that companies, obviously, they want to make money. That's how they stay in business. That's how products get made. Duh. But the business model seems to have changed over the past decade or so from trying to get our money by making quality games that we want to purchase to trying to get our money by doing a shit ton of microtransactions and peripherals, and you have the core system and then you have to collect all the other stuff to make it work, to give it its full functionality.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's not completely with that peripheral system though, since you can buy an Apple product and work it on the Microsoft still.
Well, yeah, but
But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, and with how DLC online, everything, it makes sense, and you can't blame them for wanting to make money because that's
no, obviously not. But
direct profit, pretty much, except for paying the small fee to put it on the Xbox or whatever.
Right.
Well, small fee, it actually costs a lot. That's why smaller companies have hard times releasing patches. But because of the Xbox One and all that stuff recently, before E3, we went to Comic Palooza. And Chris came home with Super Mario Kart one day.
yeah. $5 actually, great deal.
Very good deal.
Yeah.
Especially since we've been shopping now. Because I saw Game Over. I bought 3 games on the last day because I didn't get to go when he went. And then it just blew up from there. I had to get a Nintendo again. My brothers... I have 3 older brothers, and they can't seem to find out what happened to our NES. One still has the Coleco, but the NES kind of disappeared. So I bought a new NES and lots of games. As you have been mocking me, thinking I'm going to come home with games every day.
Yeah, every day. What Brian come home with? What is it today? Did he find a copy of Manic Mansion? I don't know.
So how many do I have now? I mean, I've got the one NES game there. I don't know what happened to the rest. Then there's 3 up there.
You should have like
5,
a stack.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
About 10 NES games so far.
That's combined with my existing collection of Super NES games.
Yeah, I hadn't really got any SNES games yet. I think I may have bought one. I don't remember. I've been really concentrating on the NES. Wanting to start a collection. And it's just really nice to play old games. And with all the stuff that's been going on with all this new gen, the idiocy behind all of it, it's nice to go back to something that simple. Plug it in, plug in the cartridge, maybe blow on it a couple of times because it doesn't work, but start it up. You don't have to patch it, you don't have to install it. You just play the game.
Yeah.
And it's also really good to play one of those games now because as a kid, I didn't realize how much I sucked. And now going back, and I still suck, so to say, but with the ability to actually grow in the game, and figure out how to do it, pick up strategy, survive longer, like when we were playing Super C and
Super Contra. Fuck that game.
What, we got like halfway through the first stage, if that.
We got through like the first area, then we were in the jungle and people started like jumping out of the bushes and the ground's made of metal for some reason and trying to eat us.
It took us how long to get past the first stage though?
Man, like
at
3
least
hours. It was insane.
No, it wasn't that long, but it was like at least 2 continues before we got the grip of it. Maybe in the middle of the second continue we got up there.
Well, and it's different playing it 2 people on one console because for so long we've been playing it online. It's odd having to share a screen, having to kind of get that cadence. Because I know that I would run straight ahead, screaming action at the top of my lungs, and shooting everything I could see.
While I was stuck at the back, clinging for life because things are popping up behind me, asking you to slow down.
Those things don't matter. They're not in my way.
I had to keep turning around, so it kept putting me further back, and you just kept going. But it is great to play one of those kind of games again, and the quality of the game really withstands, even though they didn't have, the lasting appeal was the difficulty, and with how people are just so babied with games nowadays, it is nice to play something that feels like a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't played Dark Souls. Yes, that would be the first thing to talk about. I played a little bit of it, but let's continue on old gen here, for now. Talk about Dark Souls later.
Well, and something about the older generation is that they really did amp up the difficulty, like you said, and because they were so graphically limited, they had to innovate in the terms of gameplay in order to become a really stellar, lasting game. Which isn't to say that every game on the console is, A++, top star. We played WrestleMania, the WrestleMania for the NES.
I don't think I got to play that one with you. I think you're playing it with your girlfriend.
Yeah, Bridget and I were playing it, where basically everyone dances, does little spinny dances and cartwheels, and I don't know how anything works in that game. Sometimes you hit people, sometimes that same button makes you run back and forth across the stage. It's just a huge clusterfuck, really.
But I bought that game because I used to have it as a kid.
Yeah.
And it was dirt cheap, so why not?
Right.
And hearing the really cheesy Real American song.
Oh my god.
It just brings back so many memories.
Real American. It's terrible.
And games that I didn't really even play as a kid, because I do not play sports games, but I did remember having it, was Blades of Steel. And that was the most fun we've had so far.
Oh man. Going, it was what, Toronto versus Alberta?
Something like that. I'm pretty sure. I picked up Toronto. I'm not sure who you picked.
No, it could have been... no, I was Winnipeg.
Okay.
Yeah, Winnipeg.
All I knew is I was Canadian, and you're like, oh, I'm going to be Canadian too, because we're playing hockey.
Well, because Canadians are best at hockey.
Of course.
I noticed that Texas wasn't even represented on that little list.
There was like a list of 7.
And Texas should have been on there.
I mean, besides the Houston Aeros, which aren't an NHL team. I mean...
You can't know that for sure.
I don't think they are. I
don't know. When was the last time you saw the Arrows?
They're up
like around. Are they still a thing?
Yeah, they're up on 249 for some reason now instead of out there in Sugarland. At least that's where the aerodrome is, I think. Map.
We have an aerodrome?
That's what it was called. I guess you never went ice skating there at the first colony?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I went a couple times.
Last time I went ice skating, I got hospitalized.
Doing what?
Someone skated over my thumb, cut it open, blood all over the place. It was bad.
Go ahead. I did not know of this story. Let us know. Go on.
All right,
I haven't heard of this ever.
Well, it started, I was visiting my dad in Florida, and he decided we were going to do some lawn work. And he gave me a pair of electric hedge trimmers, and I'm trimming, and I decide, this bush is almost perfect. I've almost got it completely, trimmed out, but there's this one little leaf, so I reach out to grab it, and I just stick my thumb right in the hedge trimmer. So, it gets sliced open, blood shoots all over the place. We go to the hospital, get it super glued back up. He decides the next day that we need to go ice skating, because that is the perfect remedy to...
I was wondering where you're going with the story. It's like, we're talking about ice skating. Why is he talking about a hedge trimmer?
The hedge trimming story is much better, that's why. No. So, I've got this, and it was just super glue, just dumped super glue all over my thumb. So we go out, we're ice skating with his then girlfriend, now wife, and I fell, and I hit the ground hard, and someone skated over my fucking thumb. And the whole thing popped open, and just blood shot everywhere. So, my dad, of course, he's kind of oblivious because he's there with his girlfriend. He's like, hey, you're all right, son? Like, I'm probably okay. Blood gushing down my forearm.
Wow.
We should probably get you off the ice.
That's amazing. I'm sure they probably had to, close it down.
Oh, man. One of the proprietors of the ice rink came by afterwards, like, are you okay? Are you feeling litigious?
Are you feeling like a lawsuit? Please don't.
Yeah, that was fun. And that was the last time I've been ice skating because I learned my lesson.
I have flat feet, so skating does not work for me.
Yeah.
It hurts my arches because I don't have any.
That's a good story, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not much to it. But if you ever wonder why I don't skate, that's why I do that. I did skateboard, though, because that doesn't matter how my feet are.
We tried snowboarding that one time.
Yes, we
Awesome
did.
adventure.
You're just not good on icy substances.
Anything that reduces friction, I'm terrible. I can't roller skate or roller blade. Skateboarding, I think I tried that once. Board shot out from under me. It landed on my head. The snowboarding, of course,
So
board shot out from
let's go
under
ahead.
me.
Let's go ahead and talk about it. Why not? Because it's hilarious for me. Maybe not him. Our friend Cliff lived in Colorado for a little bit while he was going to college out there, and we went there for a spring break. Nice vacation. First time I ever flew, which was no big deal. Whatever. We go snowboarding. What?
Nothing. Tell your story.
Okay. We've never seen snow before, except for earlier that year on Christmas Eve, 2002. No, that would have been 2004. That's what it was. 2004.
2004.
Man, I sound like an old person. Anyways.
Because we didn't sound like old people ranting about how much better the NES was than the Xbox One.
But
we might as well replace the couch with a pair of rocking chairs and get some canes.
Well, this couch is pretty old.
It actually is.
Anyways, so we saw a little bit of snow that Christmas Eve, and then we actually saw real snow there. I was excitedly overdoing it because they had piles of snow everywhere because they had a blizzard there a week before we came.
And it was spring, wasn't it? Like early spring?
Yeah, it was basically the end of skiing season. That's why it was so cheap. And
I'd been skiing before years ago. My dad had taken me skiing up in Oregon. And actually I remember that because when Cliff suggested that we go snowboarding, and I said I've never snowboarded before, but I've been skiing, Cliff said, same thing. That was a lie.
Not at all. Anyways, so we get there, we're all excited. I'm dressed crazily because I don't have actual winter clothes. You have blue jeans that you sprayed.
Yeah, Scotch Guard pair of blue jeans.
and
more long johns, so it made sense, I guess.
So we're asking Cliff, hey, is there a bunny slope or something? We've never been on this stuff before, and hold on. 5-minute warning, huh? Wow. So we'd never been snowboarding before. So do we need a bunny slope? Nah, you're good. Takes us to the top of the mountain. First thing that happens as we're getting off of the ski lift, Chris can't manage to get ahead of the momentum and somehow winds up having his extra foot wrapped around him in an angle that no one has ever seen him bend before. And they had to stop it while he got free.
This wasn't, I'm not even on the slope yet. I'm getting off the ski lift, and I have face planted, and my ankle is behind my head, and my knee is no longer attached. It was bad.
And we get to the part where we're trying to figure out how to go down the mountain. Never being on the snowboard, we finally latch both feet in, and it's on an intermediate slope. It's pretty steep. The expert advice from our friend there was lean back. No other details. But anyway,
lean back, you'll be fine. The snow will guide you where you need to be.
Chris is at the top, and he starts veering off very slowly into the trees. Not wanting to, of course. You can see the despair in him. No. And he falls down, he's fine. Then, he falls down 2 or 3 times.
I fell down, I got back up, I fell down, I got back up, and I was facing forward, which you're not supposed to do when you're on the snowboard. You're sideways. You're supposed to, be all sideways and swish and shit. And I was facing straight forward, and the board just shot out from under me again. And that was when I put my hands down to stop myself, and I found a buried tree stump. It had been buried in the snow. Landed hard on my wrist.
And sprained his wrist and had to get... Oh, wait, I forgot. While you were at the ski...
Oh, God, the ski lodge. So I'm up on the ski lodge, and I'm in those giant Frankenstein boots. And my knee is messed up, and my wrist is really hurting. So I'm kind of cradling it like this to make sure I don't jostle it or anything. And I'm limping my way through the ski lodge, getting some hot cocoa. And I'm limping, and I've got my cocoa, and I'm trying to juggle 6 different things at once. This really cute girl comes up to me, and she goes, hey, your shoelace is untied. And me, being the Casanova that I was, said, huh? And so, oh, sweetie, don't worry, I'll get that for you. And she bends over, and she ties my shoe, and she gives me a big hug. She goes, get back out there. I'm like, that was odd. So I go, and I sit down. She thought I was handicapped.
Alright, we still have 3 minutes. Is there any special way we should end this, or is that the high note of the story about how you thought you were others thought you were handicapped?
Well, I mean, the rest of it is they strapped me, they literally harnessed me to a more competent skier, and then I went down the slope just attached to his belt, basically.
Oh, I thought you were behind a ski mobile. You're just behind a confidence.
They just dude on skis who apparently is good enough. Yeah, that was great.
You got leashed to him.
Yeah, someone who knew what he was doing, just waving at all the cute girls who were skiing in bikinis.
I mean, I didn't do well in the ski lift either. I mean, skiing, snowboarding, whatever. Snow.
Yeah.
We don't believe in that stuff down here.
No, eyes falling from the sky is fucking witchcraft.
But I figured it out finally that he meant leaning back at the feet, not your whole body, and I kind of snowboarded all right, but then I was sore for the rest of the time we were there, miserable, having to get in the back of a Jeep.
Little two-seater,
with your legs hurting like crazy was not fun. No. But it was a fun trip.
Yeah.
There's other stories from there that we'll have to tell some other time.
Oh, yeah. It's Colorado Art Institute. I mean, it was interesting.
The tollway apartment. Another story for another time.
Yeah.
So, we hope you liked the video. I know it ran a little bit long. I'm not going to be doing much editing because I don't like that whole stupid jump cuts, yada yada. And we communicated pretty well.
Yeah,
I know I said a few times. I don't think I say like or too much. At least I don't think I did. But I did now.
I wasn't paying attention.
Neither was I. I was just kind of having fun with it. Yeah. So the reason also we are doing these videos, we plan on doing a series eventually.
Yeah.
And I want to stay fresh with editing. There's not going to be much going on here. Eventually, I'm going to try to do stuff like pop-up pictures and stuff. What?
Huh? Oh, no. Go ahead.
Anyways, I mean, the camera's turned around. I can see you mocking me, or whatever, It doesn't work if I can see you. Anyways, we plan on doing other videos, real-life videos, maybe some video game videos. I would say Let's Plays, but those are boring. I like doing them better than just that. So, please look forward to other videos, and if you enjoyed it, if you actually took time to watch it, comment. I hope to do a lot of this later. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Camera off.